Student Government Association takes on the responsibility of overseeing clubs and organizations, supplying resources and leadership opportunities to the student body, upholding campus traditions, and influencing our campus climate. As student body presidents, these candidates will have the opportunity to work with you, our Niagara University community, to enhance the collegiate experience at our institution. This is an exciting time for the university, and we are anxious to see which of these three student leaders before you will lead us into the next academic year. Please help yourself to pizza and refreshments once the debate concludes, and be aware that the polls will be opening at 1 o'clock following the debate. Today we're asking the questions about our campus community that our student voters want answered. We'll also be live tweeting the debate from our Twitter account at NUSGA. Please feel free to tweet at us to share your thoughts. The candidates today are running to be student body president for the academic year of 2016-2017. Here they are before you, class of 2017, Senator Paxton Hill. Cabinet Executive Treasurer Khallid Lewis. And class of 2018, President Richard Luczak. We'll be starting off today's event with opening remarks from each candidate in alphabetical order. The candidates will each be given up to 3 minutes for their statements. If a candidate goes over their allotted time, they will be notified. Candidates, I will be interjecting with this red flag at the 30-second mark so that you can wrap up your statements accordingly. Senator Hill, you may begin when you're ready.
Hello, everybody. My name is Paxton Hill. I'm a junior communications major, and I want to be your student body president. I'm running on a platform of 3 different words: efficiency, visibility, and practicality. Efficiency, next year I want my peers in NUSGA and myself to be held accountable for 1, student success, and 2, students' happiness. Visibility, I want the whole student body to know who I am, but more importantly, who NUSGA is. And practicality, we need to do more for student success. During this debate, I hope you guys ask questions and take in everything that is said. I want you guys to know who I am and what I'm all about. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Hill. We will now hear from Executive Treasurer Lewis.
Hello, my name is Khallid Lewis. I'm a rising senior here at Niagara studying mathematics and hospitality management. I'm currently the executive treasurer on President Nicholas Palisano's cabinet and a community advisor on OSHA 6. The reason you should elect me to be your next student body president is I'm the only candidate that stands before you today with cabinet experience. As I said before, I serve on President Nick Palisano's cabinet as the treasurer. My platform is based on 3 main pillars: creating a transparent NUSGA. Students need to know how their student activities fees are being spent and what goes into that planning and procedure. I talked to a lot of students during my campaigning, and they don't even know that we have officially accepted the ability to compensate our NUSGA representatives. So your delegates and cabinet members are now paid. Another one of my pillars is to revamp the Purple Pride Initiative. Restoration of faith and pride within NU with emphasis on getting student participation at clubs, sports events, regular club events, athletics, Greek life, campus office activities, and a slew of other activities that are here on campus. The third pillar is increasing student advocacy. Last fall in 2015, we saw a protest and a petition, and regardless of your opinions on both of those events, we noticed that students want to change at Niagara, and the fact that they had to go to a petition or a protest to do that appalls me, because there needs to be a better and more clear, concise way to be able to communicate as a student to your upper administration, and I want to use NUSGA to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Treasurer Lewis. Class President Luczak, you may begin your opening remarks.
Thank you and good afternoon. My name is Richard Luczak and I'm a sophomore, the only sophomore on this stage. And I am a dual major in social studies and math education for grades 5 through 12. And I'm running for student body president for a few reasons. Number one, I want to make a big impact in the Niagara University campus. And not only in the classroom, but in various aspects of campus life. And I have a lot of different ideas and programs, and I have specific plans to, for example, revamp the Purple Pride Initiative, promote diversity on campus, and increase student participation at university functions. And I'm sure we'll get to those specific plans later in the debate. So I'm sure you're asking the question, why should you vote for one of the three of us? And so I believe you should vote for me because I have the most leadership experience in total here on the stage. I've spent the last 2 years as the president of the class of 2018, and with that I've proven that I can work together with others and serve those in my class and work for the students in their best interests. I've also had the privilege of working with the fantastic NUSGA 2018 team, some of which are here today. So thank you for all that you do. And I look forward to continuing to work with all those in NUSGA next year for the good of the entire student body. Before I came to Niagara University, I was the student body president of St. Francis High School, which is located about 45 minutes south of here. And I unified the student body and introduced several ideas and concepts, ultimately leading towards our student council being certified a National Gold Council of Excellence by the National Association of Student Councils. We were the first Catholic school in New York State, one of 4 in the state, and one of 200 in the nation. And there's 46 specific indicators that they were looking for. And that we were able to come together in 1 year and be able to get that award shows the type of leadership that I can exemplify for the student body. And finally, at age 14, I became an Eagle Scout and was subsequently elected Senior Patrol Leader, which is the equivalent of the President of the troop. Now, I have a quick personal story for you. On the first day of class this fall, students were asked to give 3 adjectives to describe others in the class. And one person in the class described me as presidential. And I could tell you for several things about why you should vote for me, but that's how others that know me see me. And I hope that you're going to see me in that way too. Among the personal qualities, trustworthy, honest, hardworking, innovative, creative, organized. I'm thrilled to be a part of this debate, and I look forward to sharing my specific plans and initiatives as we go through the questions. So thank you for being here. It's great to see such a large group of students and administration here. So I look forward to what's become. Now I'll send it back to you, John. Thank you.
We will now move to the panel questions portion of our debate. 3 panelists have been chosen from our student body. Our panelists today are Class of 2019 Senator Danny McHale, Lead Community Advisor Abby Smolinski, and Tour Guide Sarah Volme. Each panelist will have 3 questions which will be directed towards an individual candidate and will be administered in rotating order. The candidate who receives the question will have up to 2 minutes to respond. The remaining candidates will have 1 minute for their response. Again, I will give the 30-second call to allow the candidates to finalize their comments. No follow-up questions may be asked to a specific candidate. There will be a time for questions from the audience following the panel discussion. Panel, you may begin your questioning.
All right, so what do you plan on doing to inform more students of things going on around campus, i.e. events or different things?
Well, I would like for, like I said, NUSGA to be more visible on campus, and I think we should start working more with the campus programming board. Through my experience here, and just from what alumni have said, the 2 programs have grown significantly. You either join CPB or NUSGA for 2 very different and great reasons, but I think we should collaborate a lot more. By being involved with the co-chairs and even the event coordinator on the cabinet, I think that way we can get more involvement in. We should start doing more surveys and polls to figure out what the students want, and that's even before classes start. Like during the summer, you could send out a survey, because we do that for the concert and we have a lot of feedback, but also for what they would like to see during the year. And by that, then each delegation can have the results and then do what they wish with it, but at least they have some idea of what the students would want for the next upcoming year. Like I said, I think that we should be working very close with CPB, not stepping on anybody's toes, but even the fact they have an office within our NUSGA office this year has been great. I think there should be more communicating with them and maybe even allocating more money for them for bigger events. Thank you.
Treasurer Lewis, you have 1 minute.
Okay. We need to have better use of marketing and PR in NUSGA. Right now, we have a marketing and PR chair, and that would be Kristen Cavallari. She is our communications director. Former President Kayleen Faricelli had a plan to split the marketing and PR position. So instead of Kristen doing everything, she would handle one portion of it, and the PR or marketing person would handle the other portion of it. And I think that's a great idea. That's a great start. Putting all of that work on one person doesn't allow for great marketing strategy and great marketing plans. Everyone in NUSGA is also a student, and you're a student first. I firmly believe that. Also, another plan I would have is to revitalize the ONA committee. It's ONA, for anyone who doesn't know what NUSGA is outreach and advancement. So what that means is they are to reach out and advance the campus. So let's get the people who are in ONA to also have responsibilities to go out into the campus and go out and even in Gallagher and just see what do students want and how do we get that to them.
Thank you.
So I have a few specific plans in order to address this issue. Number one, we do have a Niagara University app that has been around for a little bit, but it hasn't taken off as NUSGA and other organizations have intended. And so I would work to redesign that app, much like I'm sure some of you have Buffalo Sabres, Buffalo Bills, your favorite sports teams, how they all have apps and different things. And I know the junior class delegation, President Essig is here, is working on an initiative where you'll receive notifications to your phone about different sports events and different things. And so if I was an elected president, I would certainly support their efforts in bringing that information to you. Overall, we need more collaboration with the clubs specifically. The general feeling that I get is that clubs are in like their own little world, and there's not a whole lot of communication between all those different clubs and the NUSGA. And so we need to work together in more collaboration, working with these other organizations, more communication and initiatives that are going to increase student body participation, not only in club activities, but also in the NUSGA itself. And I have specific plans for that, which we'll get to in a little bit. Thank you.
Thank you. What do you think is one of the biggest issues students face on campus?
One of the biggest issues students face on campus right now, I would definitely say one of the biggest issues that students face right now is getting people to advocate for them. Like I said before, last semester we did see a protest and a petition, and I'm appalled that it had to get to that point for administration to get involved and see that there was a problem or that students felt there was a problem that was already there. And the way I see us combating that as a NUSGA is also through that revitalization of the Outreach and Advancement Committee specifically, but also encouraging more student participation. Nobody besides students that are in NUSGA comes in the NUSGA office. Everyone is like, oh, NUSGA is a group of friends, and I don't think that it is just a group of friends who are in NUSGA just for their programming interests and what they think should be done. But I want more students to come in and see what we're about and also bring their ideas and actually come to the legislative meetings that we hold on Sunday and speak. It is an open forum for students to come speak because NUSGA is by the students for the students.
Thank you. President Luczak.
So I think the biggest issue is that students don't know everything that is available to them. Now, you have ideas of some different things. But for example, as Treasurer Lewis has mentioned, the NUSGA meetings are open to everybody. And so the NUSGA is just one aspect of different things that are available to you. Coinciding with that is that a lot of students aren't informed about all of the activities that are going on here. Now, I know CPB does a lot of different events, and they do a good job of getting those the word out there. But there are other events, smaller events that people may not know about. And so we have to work together, and I think that coincides with getting the word out there with redesigning the app and more communication, is that there's several resources available in the administration, in professors, in the NUSGA, in the different clubs, and we have to tap into all of those different resources. And with that, we're going to be more successful, and students are going to be more aware of everything that's going around here on campus, and people won't be left in the dark.
Senator Hill.
I think that one of the biggest issues that students face is they are aware of some of the activities that happen on campus, but they don't feel that it suits what their needs are. And so I know by from working some of the open houses, we stress that Friday nights, we always have something going on as an alternative to going out and doing other things. And students seem really excited about that. But for somebody like a commuter who's off campus and wants to live off campus to explore life but still be connected with Niagara, I think we should have more programs almost catering to upperclassmen, and maybe even networking events like the one that was just held this week to learn how to network while you're eating. I think that's great, but I think that we need to draw in the interest back of upperclassmen or maybe people off campus with very real events that could also help them. People go home a lot too because they're homesick, they miss the food, family. Maybe we should get an idea bringing in chefs, maybe someone you want to learn how to cook something that can help the commuters off campus and maybe make other people who miss that home feeling feel back at home by being on campus. I think that we really just need to make sure we reach out because I feel like commuters and some upperclassmen feel that some of our programs don't cater to them.
Okay, Richard, how do you view the overall campus climate and in which way would you change it?
All right, so I think overall, I think we have a fantastic campus climate. Compared to other universities, and I always tell this on the tours, the community here at Niagara University is unlike anything I've ever seen. Students of all different groups are constantly talking with each other, they're constantly with each other, going to different activities. The school spirit, especially, for example, when we had groups go to Canisius for the basketball game, and different things like that. It's unheard of at other college campuses for students to be as involved and as passionate about Niagara as the students are here. But one of the things that I would change is the issue of diversity. And I have a specific multi-point plan put in place that I want to talk to you about real quick. I've been reading a lot of different studies and different things about how to increase diversity on campus. And so the biggest things are as such. Number one, we have to learn about all different types of people, and we've started to do that this semester. Obviously, there's still a long way we have to go with that. But that'll include information meetings, culture fairs, guest speakers, and other ways of spreading information. And again, we've started doing that, but we still have work to do. Number two is we have to be more informed on the issues. We have to examine the causes of those issues, and then work together in order to come up with common sense solutions. Open dialogue and communication is going to be absolutely key when going through that process. And the third step that goes along with that is hosting discussion sessions, working together to come up with solutions that are reasonable and can be enacted within a reasonable amount of time. Number four, we need to celebrate the aspects of all the different cultures. For example, the Polish people celebrate Dingus Day, the Irish people celebrate St. Patrick's Day, and that's expanded to include all different groups of people. But we have to celebrate that. Now, Niagara is a melting pot of all different cultures. We have students from the United States, Canada, all around the world. And we have to celebrate those because students have a unique background and they have a unique story. And so we need to celebrate that. And number five, which I think is the most important, is we cannot be resistant to change. We have to be part of the solution, and we need to work together to encourage all students to be successful and work to their fullest potential here at Niagara.
Thank you. Senator Hill.
I think that the overall campus climate is very close-knit, and we are very welcoming, and we do try to be open to new ideas, but I do think that diversity issue is a very big problem. This protest this past fall, when I first heard about it, I was very disheartened and confused as to what's going on, because as a Black student here, I didn't feel this way, but it was very sad that other people did. And we have amazing resources that I don't think we always use. For example, the Office of Multicultural Affairs, we should tap into them more, maybe even provide more funding for them so they can do their different events that welcome students of all races, ethnicities, genders, religion. But it goes more than just getting guest speakers. We need to do a lot more than just programming for people and the people that have very real issues. We need to really address their needs. So I think by holding groups and inviting them to the legislative meeting and reaching out a lot to actually do something about that issue and make it known that we want to help, we want to change, we don't just want to get rid of the problem or cover it up nicely, we really need to do more about it.
Personally, I take an opposing view to both of my candidates on campus climate. morale is low amongst our students. We see a lot of students go home on the weekends, and being a community advisor in O'Shea, I ask students, why do you go home so much? There's nothing to do on the weekends. Oh, I'd just rather go home than be here. And I feel we need to foster a community where students want to stay on campus. It shouldn't be, well, there's nothing to do on Saturdays. Well, there's this event, there's that, and then if I don't want to do that, I can go here. And I want that type of culture on this campus. I feel we have low morale with our athletics program, even with our club sports and things like that. And we have athletes who are doing tremendous work and great work in like all of their sports. So I would say getting like attendance to like those games or those events or that Greek life thing that people need to go to. Embracing diversity is very important. Since I've been here, Multicultural Student Organization or the Office of Multicultural Student Affairs.
1 minute.
Oh, sorry, 1 second. Just give me 1 second. I feel like that office has like been tremendous in planning great events, especially now we have April Harbin who's here right now. Her and Isaac do a hell of a job just creating good events and like trying to get people out, and you don't see students go. So more of that marketing for that. And progress seems slow for a lot of people here. I'm a community advisor, like I said before. CA's been trying to get full compensation forever, and it just seems like it's not coming. Like a 50-cent raise, you can't really do much with that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Next question.
All right, so you guys alluded to different CPB events and sporting events. So what would you do to boost attendance and get newer faces?
To boost attendance and get newer faces, like I said, I feel like we need to reach out more to the students because essentially we should be catering to their needs and wants. I think that there should be more polls, more surveys, and we need to market better for it and get them excited to be here. Like I said too, we should be catering to everybody, so really try to grab in those upperclassmen, those commuters, maybe add in some networking events and just different things that can really apply to everybody. But I think that it goes out with really reaching out to the students to figure out what they want to see being done on campus.
If anybody has seen my video that I posted on Facebook, this is like one of the main pillars of my campaign. I want to revamp the Purple Pride Initiative, not so that students just wear purple on Friday, but they go to events. And the way I plan to do that is first I want to meet with Steve Butler, who is the director of athletics up in upper level Gallagher, and I want to talk to him about the Purple Pride program he has in place for student athletes to go to other athletic games besides their, well, obviously not their own because they're participating, but go to the soccer game if they're on the basketball team and things like that. I think it's a great initiative. 30 seconds. Oh, okay. I think it's a great initiative, and the way I plan to do that is we would have events like club sports, and clubs could apply to have a Purple Pride event, and that event could be used to get points, and you can change those points into entries. And then at Rich Fest, we would have a big raffle and a celebration and raffle off prizes to those who show Purple Pride and exhibit it very well.
So I also have a student engagement plan. Now I'm going to be a teacher, so I got to get some audience participation here. How many of you have the app Sabres Fan Advantage? Anybody? All right, we've got one. All right, so Sabres Fan Advantage is an app that the Buffalo Sabres have come out with. And if you watch the games on TV, if you go to the game and scan your ticket, if you buy food at the game, if you get the little booklets that they hand out, you get points for all of that. And so,
30 seconds.
Okay. So I want to bring a similar model here to Niagara, where if you go to these sports events, you get points, and you get to scan a code, or we would work with IT on revitalizing that NU app and include this as part of that. And so basically, what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to cash those points in for different prizes or different objects. We could have NU apparel, we could have Galley Gold cards, we could have different things from the campus store. Because the one thing that all students have,
1 minute.
and all right, I'm just going to finish this point. If all the students, and if you always have your cell phone, and so if you have your cell phone, why not be able to participate in that initiative, and then you'd be able to get something out of it, but you'd also be supporting your fellow students.
So I know you already touched upon this, but can you explain an initiative that you're passionate about for this campus?
Oh, I'm passionate about a whole bunch of them. Okay, let's start with the Finance Committee because I just talked about my Purple Pride initiative. President Palisano has executive powers, so I asked him to create an ad hoc Finance Committee, which will be on the ballot for the delegations, not this ballot, next ballot. So please approve that as it is a vital part of NUSGA. The Finance Committee is tasked with mainly reviewing the budget rules and deliberating any issues that we see present. So club sports was granted 2 nights for 1 game, but only 1 night stay for a tournament, which we all could see that a tournament would last longer than a single game. You go to the game, you play it, you sleep overnight, you come back. Tournament, you're probably there for more days, so it's apparent that you would need more games, more nights to stay at a hotel. The Finance Committee has caught that, and they've caught more mistakes. Just like EMTs are prorated for our club sport program. No student should have to worry about fundraising money to make sure that they're safe at a game, or we have a policy in place that says, well, you have to have an EMT at the game in case anything happens. They shouldn't have to worry about student safety. So we've made sure that we're not prorating those costs and we're giving them the full amount of funding for those. My Purple Pride initiative, that's the one I'm very passionate about because I think that's a way to boost morale. I look at schools like Bonaventure that have just great school pride. The school doesn't need to charter a bus to go to their game because everybody's just getting in their car and they're going. Win or lose, they're gonna support Bonaventure. And that's the way we should feel about our Purple Eagles and all of our other clubs.
So the thing that I've been most passionate about is increasing student participation. And I've been able to accomplish that specifically with the NUSGA 2018 delegation in my 2 years as the class president. And we've been able to be one of the most active delegations in providing a variety of different activities that haven't been done before here at Niagara. And we've been able to not only engage in community service and get other students to participate in community service, but also different events. And I want to give you a quick example. We're going to, today actually, 9 o'clock, New York City trip for freshmen and sophomores went on to my NU. And it's going to be a different event in the such that you can go in the city where you want to for $40. You can't get that deal anywhere else. But by doing so and by picking a more broad thing, and that's just an example of one activity where any interest can go on that trip and you're going to be satisfied because we're not telling you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this.
1 minute.
You get an option.
Something I'm very passionate about is the student engagement in NUSGA in itself. Like I said, I want to be able to cater to the needs of the entire student body, and it needs to start somewhere. So by making NUSGA more visible and for the students to be able to see what each delegation is doing and how much hard work it takes into doing something, like we need to get students excited about this. Working with the freshman class and being their pro temp and putting on that election palooza, they came out with like so many good ideas. I was so proud of them and the turnout, and that was one of their first couple months right on campus. So by seeing how it can really start somewhere, we need to plant that seed to get students involved and excited and realize that NUSGA is their friend. We are a resource, but we do have a bad reputation at times, so we need to break that wall down so we can be used.
Everyone has strengths and weaknesses. What would be one of your weaknesses if selected as NUSGA's student body president?
So one of my weaknesses, which I've been working on, is at times I'm a bit impatient. Now as a teacher, you have to be very patient with your students. And so that's something that I've been able to really work on over the past few years, or 2 years, going out as a Learn and Serve candidate into classrooms, working with students one-on-one. So I would say that would be my biggest weakness. But again, I'm working on it, and nobody's perfect. But so I've been working on it. So, yep.
Senator Hill.
I would say a weakness would be taking on too much. So as president, I would need to have trust in my cabinet and decide what should be delegated to what person instead of trying to take all of that on myself, because sometimes I just try to get it all done. But I think that you really need to trust the people you're working with and know that they can get the job done just as good and as efficient as you will.
I think one of my weaknesses is the same as Senator Hill's. It's delegating. I'm not an overachiever, but like sometimes I get so overly passionate about something that I'm just like, I want to like do everything, and I have to notice that Rome wasn't built in a day, and it surely was not built by one person. So acknowledging that if elected, I'll have a cabinet and I'll have I have 4 delegations that could help out with different events and different initiatives that I'm trying to put in place.
Okay, what sort of campus environment do you see yourself creating if you were elected?
I would see myself creating a more, exciting, welcoming environment. We want to get people involved. We want them excited. We want them at sporting events, at like different events that we help hold on campus. I want it to become more one again and engage everybody, every class, every, whether you're a resident or a commuter. So I think that it would be very engaging and very whole.
I see myself creating a heterogeneous, unified, and exciting campus environment. Heterogeneous in the sense that we would have a diverse campus, one that is inclusive of all, one that is united and stands as a united front as Purple Eagles, and exciting, a campus where people want to stay on the weekends or go to that event that they normally wouldn't have.
The campus environment that I would see is a welcoming, engaging, informed, diverse, and excited student body. And the way that we get there is we get there through communication, through teamwork, through collaboration, and including all the different clubs and organizations, commuters, residents, CAs, all those different groups of people coming together for one united cause, for one Niagara University.
As president, what will be your top priority or goal?
As president, my top priority and goal is to see that campus that I just explained come to existence. It probably won't happen all during my time in office, if elected, but I would like to see great strides made, and also when the next president is beginning to come in office, that those strides are also being continued and we're perpetuating what was already started during my time in office.
I would say we have to make progress, and that's what I would like to see happen. We have made great strides in a number of different things, especially within the last few years. NUSGA has made a lot of progress. But specifically, we have to continue that progress. Just because we've made some advances doesn't mean, we have to stop. So we have to continue with that progress, specifically in the issues most pressing to our university, but also issues that might come up in the future. So we just need to continue moving on that trend forward, not back.
From when I got here in 2013 to now in 2016, I've noticed huge changes in the campus, but like they said, we can't plateau or we can't regress. We need to keep going, and I think one of the most important things is how we communicate with students. Like I said, I want to be able to cater to very real needs, whether that has to do with diversity or even just more engagement on campus. I think it's important to make sure that everybody feels welcome. People know what's going on campus. People use the faculty and NUSGA as a resource, and I think communication is very key.
Former past NUSGA presidents have left a tremendous legacy. For instance, Nick Pausano has really been there for different student organizations and clubs. What would be your legacy that you would want to leave for NUSGA as NUSGA student body president?
I would want my legacy to be a unifier. I really want our student body to come together, similar to the One Buffalo movement, for those of you from around this area. With Terry Pagula and the owner of the Buffalo Sabres, we've really seen the city of Buffalo come together, and I want to continue that here at Niagara University, bringing together our athletes, all students, those that participate in clubs, those that are out in the community, professors, administration, all coming together for one cause. So let's call it One Niagara. There we go.
Similar to President Luczak, I want everybody to feel at whole again. I want to be able to break the barriers and the different reputations that different groups have on campus. I want them to know that NUSGA is a resource. I want me as a president, if elected, people can come up to me with issues, come into the NUSGA office, sit at meetings. I want them to know the faculty is their friend, and for us to be more of a whole again.
I would want my legacy, if elected president, to be characterized by the following characteristics. I want to be known as a person who was a great communicator, that got out there and communicated to the student body, heard them, and also reflected on what they wanted to see, but also acted on what they wanted to see. Someone who advocated for students. I'm willing to help advocate for students. I'm only one person, and if they want to advocate with me, we need to make that bridge. I'm 50%, you're 50%, but as long as we're given 100, that's 200% given. And I believe in that philosophy. And I also want to be looked at as someone who changed Niagara for the future and for the better.
Okay. With the conclusion of our panel questions, we will now enter our open forum. We will allow 10 to 15 minutes for questions from the floor. The person asking questions will be recognized by myself and may direct their question towards a specific candidate. The selected candidate will have 2 minutes to respond. There will be no rebuttal during the open forum. Please keep in mind that only fair and reasonable questions pertaining to the role of student body president will be considered. As moderator, I am able to dismiss any questions that are inappropriate for today's debate. Please feel free to email us at nusga@niagara.edu if there are additional questions that could not be answered today. With that being said, I will now take our first question. Raise your hand.
Okay, so this question is for Treasurer Lewis. What do you think is what makes you qualified to be the NUSGA student body president?
Okay. I'm qualified to be the student body president because I have, I believe, a solid plan of what I want to see. I have a roadmap of where I see where the organization is now and where I want to take it. I'm also, as I stated before, the only one with cabinet experience that stands before you today. So I have knowledge of what the issues are that the cabinet has handled, the way we have handled it, how the cabinet works, because a cabinet is very different from a delegation in the sense of, A, we do not get a voting right in anything that goes to the legislative floor, but we do carry voting rights within our meetings on other topics.
Is there another question?
I'm going to ask Paxton this question. So oftentimes NUSGA is thought of a programming board, but that's not what we're supposed to be here for. We're supposed to be here for student advocacy. So what is one initiative for student advocacy that you would like to see happen if you were elected?
I would like to see people understand what we are. I think that's part of the problem. You can walk up to somebody in Gallagher, a regular student who might not be that involved, and you'll ask them, oh, what's NUSGA? And they just say a programming board. But by making us available and really showing what we stand for, what the delegations do, and even connecting more with our class in that sense, and not just when they're planning trips or have big events, I think that people can really understand who we are as an organization, and then that can really make the divide between, no, we do have a campus programming board, but we are NUSGA, and that's your student government. So I think the visibility is a huge thing, and us being available on campus and for other people to know who we are within our delegations or the organization as a whole or even the cabinet.
Are there any additional questions?
There's one right there.
Treasurer Lewis, this is for you. How do you feel that your experience as a CA would benefit you as president?
My experience as a CA would benefit me tremendously. I have 60 freshman residents that are just bad sometimes, but I still love all 60 of them. It's like having 60 siblings. So I think a lot of them talk about things that they want to see as Niagara, and they are the next generation because they'll be here for 3 more years, whereas I'm only here for 1. So I think that experience could also be used to show them what NUSGA is, get them more involved, and make them feel as if they have a voice, will let them know that they have a voice, because they don't have to feel it, they need to know it, and show them that they need to use their power to progress the university. Sorry, does that answer your question?
Does anyone else have a question?
This is for Senator Hill. What makes you better qualified and prepared to take on this responsibility when you've been in NUSGA for only about 2 months now over your candidates who've been in it for over a year?
Well, first of all, I was working with the freshman class. I was their pro tem, so I was in there for the beginning half of the year. And I got to work very close with them and understand their needs. And even too, like by being an orientation leader, a lot of them, I pulled them in. I was like, you need to get involved. Be in NUSGA if that's what you want to do. And so then by working with them, I uncovered a lot of their own needs. And then as soon as the senator position opened up, I wanted to stay as involved in NUSGA as possible. So I went in and interviewed, and with my delegation, we've been working extremely close, contacts all the time, and I think that they have showed me so many different things just by working with them that I'm just as qualified to take on this role. So I might not have the cabinet experience, but I feel like I do have, the interest of the silent majority, and just by working with my class. Thank you.
This is for Richard. What have you done for student advocacy since the protest and the petition, since that ended? What can we see from? Can we hear from you?
We've been working together as a collaborative NUSGA body, specifically in addressing those concerns, and we've been working together to increase awareness of it. We participated with that NU Talks, or Students Talk NU Listens. We've also been working on, specifically in the cabinet, with the diversity chair and working with addressing that from a NUSGA standpoint. But the main thing is getting the word out there, and then specifically working with students to address those concerns and coming up with those solutions. It's a group effort, I would say, specifically with the NUSGA. We're all very passionate about it. And working together to ultimately make the experience better for all students.
This is for candidate Lewis. Obviously, over the years, students have felt a certain way where we felt that administration didn't hear our voices, and it obviously erupted into the petition and the protest. And you mentioned specifically that you would like NUSGA to be that bridge between students and administration. How do you see yourself using NUSGA to bridge that gap to foster understanding between the two?
Okay. President Palisano has created an ad hoc chair. We now have a diversity liaison, Tia Robinson. She's here today as well. And I think that is definitely a start. And I would, if elected, I would keep that position going. I would try to also get it as a solid position within the cabinet. I think that it is something, diversity just doesn't change in one day. It's something that we need to keep working on, and we're gonna have to keep progressing on for a while. So having that position set in stone, there will always be a diversity rep there. Also, I would like to see that students come into the NUSGA office and talk to me. I feel I'm very approachable, and students can talk to me about anything. I tell my residents that all the time. If you have a problem, please come to me, because I can help you handle it. I'm not necessarily going to handle it for you, but I can help you and guide you in the right direction sometimes, and well, all the time.
This question goes to all the candidates. I know we have Ridge Fest and First Fest. That's like our spring fling, and attendance is very low. Other schools like Lemoyne has Dolphy Day, Fred Fest, Kendall Day, and stuff like that. That's basically what everyone's looking forward to. How do you guys plan to get people to come to this and make it a fun event?
Let's start with me.
You can start.
Okay. Well, I think that people are very pleased with the results of this year. But like I said, going back to the surveys and involvement, like if we're putting out that effort to figure out what you want, you have to make sure that you do participate and answer that. So like during the summer, we should send out a survey and say like, what do you want to see for First Fest? Or what are some ideas that you would love to like go out with a bang as seniors, or that some of the other classes want to see? But I think that it really is that 50-50. As NUSGA, we definitely need to put more effort in and work closely with the CPB to make sure that awesome events are happening for you guys and your concerns are being met. But then the student body also has to be responsive to that.
I have noticed as well that attendance has dwindled since I was a freshman. I went to First Fest this semester and I was just like, where is everybody? But the one thing I do notice is that I think it is going to get better this year because we have a better concert. I know the concert is usually big talk. In the past year, we had a country concert, and then we had the other group, All American Rejects, come. But now we have Jeremiah and Pia, so we're more in this century, and we're trying to get groups that probably don't feel. We're trying to get people that can bring everybody together. Jeremiah, I think his songs now everybody listens to. They're very popular in pop culture and high on the Billboard charts. So I think that's a good thing, getting better concerts. I've also talked to the freshman class. I noticed every Ridge Fest and every First Fest, they have these inflatable rides. And it's like, why have these inflatable rides? Like, I told the freshman class to look into having a carnival like in Greece. I think that's something that students will be more receptive to and actually come out to that barbecue. A lot of students who were here, the freshmen might not necessarily know, but there was a thing called May Day last year, and I feel like a May Day concept is great because I noticed that students wore the colors that they were supposed to wear to represent their graduating class, and we need more of that representation and unity for students to come together and all enjoy something.
In order for it to be successful, students have to have the primary voice in those events, and so we need to, as several times we've talked about these surveys, we've talked about asking students what they think, and so that's certainly a big part of it. But we also have to work very closely with the CPB because they're the ones that are planning a lot of these events, such as the late night Niagaras and the different events like that. I know Grocery Bingo is very popular and different things like that. They're the ones that are planning those, and they're the ones that can bring those events, and we can tie it in with the bigger Ridge Fest and First Fest. And additionally, one person does not have the answer to everything. And so that's where the cabinet is going to come in crucial. That's where the delegations are going to come in. And that's where any student that wants to be a part of it should be able to be a part of it. And one of the things I want to do is I want to increase student participation, not just from those in NUSGA, but students that are not in NUSGA. You got to get involved and come together for one cause. So going on with that, there's going to be increased communication. But we also have to raise morale. We have to have people want to go to those events. And so we have to do a better job of that. It's been getting better, but again, we have more progress to go. And so all of those things in combination, I think, will greatly help to increase attendance at those types of events.
We have time to 1 to 2 more questions, so Tia, I know you said.
This question is for Richard and Khallid. You guys spoke on your Purple Pride initiative, and I heard mostly about sports teams going to other sports events and club sports a lot. What do you plan to do for students that are not on sports teams, that are not in clubs, that are not really involved that much on campus? How do you plan to get them more involved, more interested in wanting to go to club sports as well as D1 sports as well as other club events on campus? And Paxton, you can answer too as well.
Who want to go first? I'll go first. Okay. My Purple Pride initiative, I'm sorry if I did make it seem like it was just geared towards athletics. It's not. I want a more cohesive and more inclusion within that. So the way I plan to do it and lay it out is that if you're in Bienvenidos, so we have Kelly Fitzpatrick, who's the president of that club. So Bienvenidos would hold an event that they think applies to the whole student body, and they can apply for Purple Pride status, which would grant students the right to go to that event and swipe in as like, okay, I attended the event, like I want my points for that, and they get points for it, and then at the end they can redeem those points for entries into a raffle. however much we set that equivalent to. And I think that is one of the things. It's just not for clubs. It's for that event that your teacher holds that you want more students to come. You have that a MLK Week speaker, and you want to get students there, get them there, because students will go collect their points. Like, I gotta go get my Purple Pride points. And they'll roll up and they'll go in and swipe and sit down and go listen to what this person has to say. And it fosters a community that becomes more inherent about what's going on around them. People become more into the issues and talking about the issues, and then there's not a taboo of, well, we shouldn't talk about that because then that's too political, and then it gets into a big argument. Have that dialogue, and I think that this is something that will encourage students to have that dialogue. Go to that sports game, go to that Greek life recruiting event for Rush Week. I think inter-Greek council is something that needs to be brought back because our Greek life isn't as big as it needs to be on this campus.
So I think my plan will work very successfully because students need to be incentivized. If I offered you, let's say, $100 to write a paper, I'm sure a lot of you, let's say one-page paper, I'm sure a lot of you would do it for $100. I'm sure a lot of you would do it for $50. But here's the thing. There has to be some type of an incentive. And so that's why I think with the similar format like the Sabres Fan Advantage is that you get points for attending, and then you can redeem those points for whatever prizes or whatever items are going to be able to be redeemed, which we'll work that out as time goes on. But there has to be some type of an incentive, and there has to be some reason why students want to be there. Just going for, if you just go, you're not going to just want to go there for, yeah, you want to get your points, but you're not going to want to go there just for the fun of it. You want to go to learn something. You want to go to be with your friends. You want to go and be a part of something that's integral here on the campus. So I think that'll work very nicely, specifically with things that students will want. Galley Gold, I know towards the end of the semester some student accounts get low, so there's some things that you can redeem for that and different things like that.
Paxton.
Like I've been saying and reiterating, it's really about uncovering the students' needs. So by doing that and making sure that they have a voice in what's happening, and it's not just for the sports teams, but just different activities on campus, I think that will make a difference. And like I said, by being an orientation leader and working at different open houses, one of the things we are excited to tell our students is that there's always something going on for you. But I do think that we should start catering to upperclassmen and people that are ready to grow and leave the university as seniors or juniors. And we need to start doing more networking events, reaching out to our offices that we have and tap into them as a resource, because they also need things to do that they will find beneficial to them, but it can also be enjoyable.
Okay, we can take our last question now, and please direct this one towards one person.
This one is for Paxton. Since you actually have been in NUSGA for almost a year now between pro temp and our class and working with all different delegations, how do you plan on keeping your connection to the delegations if you become president of the school?
If I'm student body president, I would absolutely love to stay so involved with our delegation. The organization that we have, like alone between us, I think that's very easy to tap into, helping you with different events, but also managing my duties as well. I do not think that there should be that broken wall, like, oh, this person's president, you shouldn't be working with your delegation. I think you guys are welcoming, and it'll be very easy to stay manageable with some events that I can help you with, but then also stay my duties as president.
Thank you. So in the final portion of today's debate, each candidate will be given up to 2 minutes for their closing statements. Senator Hill, you may begin.
3 words, everyone: efficiency, visibility, and practicality. That's what I'm about. I hope that during this debate you could get a feel for who I am and what I want to be able to do for this school. Congratulations, and I respect the other candidates here as we all want to make the school a better place. My goal is to make sure that people know what NUSGA is, that I'm here as a resource, and that they can come to me with anything, and I want to uncover needs. If you have any concerns, please feel free to reach out to me. Don't let this be the last time you speak to me before you vote, and thank you.
Treasurer Lewis.
Again, Khallid Lewis, I'm a rising senior, hospitality management and math major. If you want a candidate that is going to create a more transparent NUSGA, revamp Purple Pride and morale here at the school, and increase student advocacy, I'm the candidate for you. Brian talked about getting Ridge Fest back up to the standard that it used to be when I first came here as a freshman. Let's come on and do that. CAs, you need somebody to advocate for you with full compensation. Well, let's put a package together and put a plan together and start trying to get that done. Getting people to those athletics games and getting people to those club events and those speakers and everything that's going on here on campus. We need to make it a better Niagara, a heterogeneous community, a united community, and just a better Niagara. Thank you.
President Luczak.
Now, I realize I'm the only thing holding you up from all getting pizza. So I'll make this quick. So first, I'd like to thank the NUSGA Campus Activities for putting on this debate. I know I had a lot of fun. I'm sure Khallid and Paxton had fun as well. So also thank you to all the students and the administration for coming over and participating in this. Your presence here today indicates the passion and love for Niagara University that we all share. So thank you for coming. We've heard and discussed many of the issues and possible solutions to those problems. You've heard different viewpoints, different philosophies. Now you, the student body, have a very important decision to elect a new student body president. And so in a few moments, 1 o'clock I think is the official time when the voting will begin. If you want someone to fight for you and work in your best interests, if you want someone with experience as a president and a student body president, and knows how to engage in effective problem solving. If you want someone who can work with all students and on behalf of all students. If you want someone who works hard, cooperates, and is passionate about Niagara University, works well with others, and takes every viewpoint into account, then join our team and vote for me to be the next student body president. I'm confident that anything is possible if we work together. Thank you very much. May God bless you. May God bless Niagara University. Thank you.
For all your participation in the NUSGA presidential debate and your investment in the Niagara University community. Students, if you want to sit for 1 second. To all students who have attended, thank you also for your investment in the future of our campus and student leadership. Take note that our polls will be open for the next 24 hours on your MyNU. If you've tried it now and it's not working for you, try back again later because they are working on it in IT, and then email campus activities if it's not working for you. The polls for the final 2 candidates will be open Thursday at 10 a.m. and close Friday at 3 p.m. We highly encourage your participation in the elections and hope that you use what you've heard today to make an educated decision for the future of our campus. We have a voting station set up right outside of this room, so you can cast your votes if you'd like to. And then please enjoy the pizza and refreshments that we brought in. Candidates, best of luck throughout the remainder of your campaigns. Thank you.